Hey friends, today's video is all about power jams at the start. So what is a power jam? A power jam occurs when one team's jammer is in the penalty box, leaving the team's jammer the solo scoring opportunity on the track. If the jammer designated as lead jammer gets the penalty and goes to the penalty box, upon release, they are no longer lead jammer. That's really important because for the rest of the jam, there is no lead jammer. The jam will continue until the jam clock of 2 minutes expires, and both jammers will be able to score points. So this is a result of WIFTA Rule 3.4, penalized jammers. So when a jammer is penalized, they are considered to be no longer on the track. Even if they are still on the track, they're considered not to be. Accordingly, a penalized jammer cannot earn passes on any further opponents until that jammer completes their penalty. Upon release from the penalty box, a jammer returns to the same trip through the pack, having scored on and or being in position to score on the same blockers. So there are two types of power jams. Today we're focusing on the jam start. So in this scenario, the opposing jammer is in the penalty box at the start of the jam. We will look at this in two different play versions, conga, where the jammer hits first, and mirror, where the blockers sweep first. We do have some mid-jam plays, but we're going to talk about those at a later time. I do want to recognize that these are not the only types of plays, but these are the ones that AORD focuses on. The two plays we're going to look at. The first one is conga. This is where the jammer is going to hit the blockers in lanes 2/3 or 3/4 first, but doesn't get stuck. The blockers are going to sweep the opponents, making space. Jammer finds the hole and runs. Blockers will then reform for the mid jam, power jam, or for the opposing jammer to enter the track from the penalty box. With the mirror, the blockers line up on the outside or inside line. The blockers will move up or back with the opposing blockers, kind of mirroring them. And upon the whistle, the blockers will sweep the opponents, clearing the line. The jammer runs. At that point, the blockers are going to reform, be ready for that jammer to come around again, or ready for the opposing jammer to enter the track. Keys to a successful power jam. Power jams are fantastic for blockers and jammer when they work. So blockers, in order for a power jam to be successful, one blocker should tell everybody what we're doing, and then everybody just do it. Conga, line up for conga. Mirror, line up for mirror. Everyone moves and hits the blockers quickly at the same time. That's so important. Everybody has to go at the same time. Everybody has to hit their blocker. And everyone has to hit or subdue their target, get in their way, take them out of play. The jammer must know what the blockers are setting up or tell them what to set up and then know how to respond to that play they are running. Jammers, you also need to stay calm, let the blockers do their work, and then you find the hole. Scenario number 1. The opposing team's jammer gets sent to the penalty box for a back block and serves 10 seconds of their penalty before we call off the jam. When the next jam starts, we have a power jam and 20 seconds before the opposing jammer enters the track. What do we do? So this is what it might look like on the track. The yellow jammer is in the box. The pink jammer tells their blocker, hey blockers, do conga. So in this scenario, the blockers line up in the middle of the track. And it doesn't matter what order they're in, but they're in one condensed line. The jammer in this situation is baiting the opposing blockers to the outside. 5 seconds, the jam whistle blows. What happens next? So this is how we're always going to set up a conga with our blockers in the center here. The jammer could be on either side. So let's set that up and see what that might look like. So again, we're going to move all of our blockers into the center. It doesn't matter what order they're in, but you got to make sure that you got the people who can actually hit people, maybe up front a little bit, and we need a sweeper in the back. So everybody's important. All right, so I'm going to have these guys over here. All right, and our jammer is going to be over here. All right, gotta get this guy in bounds. Okay, so now we're ready. So 5 seconds, the whistle blows. What the jammer is going to do, the jammer is going to make contact with this group of blockers. They're going to keep making contact, but they're not going to get stuck. All right. This first blocker is going to come and take care of the outside blocker. Second one is going to come and take care of the pivot. Third blocker is going to come and kind of do this. This pivot would still be here. And then our third blocker is going to clean up anything where the jammer might need some additional help. Now you see this giant hole, the jammer sees it and runs. So that's how conga would work. Okay, so let's go on to our next scenario, scenario 2. The opposing team's jammer gets sent to the penalty box for a track cut and serves 20 seconds of their penalty before we call off the jam. When the next jam starts, we have a power jam and 10 seconds before the opposing jammer enters the track. What do we do? So in this situation, the yellow jammer's in the box. The pink blocker gets the blockers to line up in mirror. So one of these blockers, it could be number 3. 3 says mirror, and they line up on one of the sides of the track. In this case, it's the inside line. The jammer can stand anywhere behind this line, and we'll talk about that more in a second. 5 seconds, the jam whistle blows. What happens next? All right, let's set this up. So we have our somebody calls mirror, blocker number 3 calls mirror. So we're all gonna line up over here. The jammer's behind the jam line, and we are going to get all of our blockers in here, and we're gonna get our brace. All right, in this scenario, the jammer could stand over here. The jammer could also stand here. But what's gonna happen is wherever this yellow team moves, so is this pink team. They're gonna mirror the yellow team. Okay, they're not gonna go out of bounds. They're not gonna go back there. But if they move up, these guys are gonna move up. If the yellow team moves back, the pink team will move back. But what's gonna happen is as soon as the whistle blows, they are all at the same time going to start pushing this team in this direction. They are going to push, push, push. Look at this. The jammer sees the hole and runs. Okay, now the jammer could start here, but I would not hit that pack when the whistle blows. Don't get in there. Wait until your team makes the hole. So you could also come in right here and just stand behind this last blocker on the side and just run immediately. The choice is yours as to where you stand, but let your blockers clear you a spot and then you go. So what if you want to do the conga play and the opponent takes the line? Well, then set it up as a mirror. If they move forward, switch to conga. Okay, so be flexible, communicate with your team. We should know the words mirror and conga and what they mean. Thank you. Have a good one.